Really able to find any other Belltown-specific enforcement initiatives in recent years.
A Tukwila man with a long criminal history is headed to federal prison for drug trafficking. The U.S. Attorney's Office says 52-year-old Anthony Escoto was sentenced to 10 years for dealing meth and fentanyl. He was caught during a 2-year investigation into gangs tied to white supremacist groups. Escoto has prior convictions of assault, identity theft, and drug crimes. Agents say he ordered pounds of meth and thousands of fentanyl pills over wiretaps. They also found guns at his home, illegal for a felon to have.
Mariners kept it rolling last night. There was that big win against the Padres, 9-6. Infielder Jorge Polanco had a great night, going 3 for 4 with 4 RBIs, a double, and this home run.
Swing and a drive deep down the left field line, and this one is gone. Goodbye baseball into Edgar's Cantina, into somebody's margarita. Jorge Polanco with a 1-iron. Straight away left field, a 2-run drive.
I just love Rick Riz.
Oh, he's the best.
Yeah. With the win, the Mariners take the season series against the Padres, meaning they're the winners of the 2025 Vetter Cup. Well, what's that? It's a 1963 Fender Telecaster guitar designed by Pearl Jam frontman Eddie Vedder. The M's continue their series against the Padres today. They look to win this current home series. Keep the good vibes rolling. First pitch at T-Mobile Park, 6:40, and you can hear it on our sister station, 710 Seattle Sports.
It's 8:12. Time for a check on the weather. Brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. And here's KIRO 7 TV's Robert Van Winkle.
It's going to be a nice warm day across all of our part of Washington with high temperatures in the mid-upper 80s this afternoon. A couple of clouds will still be out there, but they're not rain-producing clouds, so get ready for another really hot day, really, and you put it right down there. Temperatures in the upper 80s. Now, visibility is going to come down a little bit this afternoon. We're looking at around 10 to 15-mile visibility with some smoke and haze in the atmosphere. Otherwise, cooler weather still waits until the weekend to get here. It won't be till Saturday or Sunday before we get back into the 70s. So once again, it looks like another warm day with a high of 88 degrees.
Just one more. We can do it. We have sunshine in Seattle right now. It's 65.
8:13, we check traffic on the 3s, and Chris Sullivan is watching the roads.
And we're a little bit of good news for those of you stuck in this off and on 3-mile backup from Sedgwick Road up and around the corner into Gorst. Crash westbound 16 there has cleared. It's going to take a little bit of time, though, for all of this to clear out, but at least the left lane has reopened. Over on this side of the water, Olympia to Tacoma looks pretty good, and most of Pierce County is in pretty good shape. There are some brake lights, I should say, getting through Pacific, and then up into South King County as you work your way out of Auburn. All in all, 50 minutes from Puyallup to Renton with 30 out of Auburn. That's about average. And then about a 45-minute trip from Renton to Bellevue. Those S-curves are pretty active, and then by the time you're up to I-90, you hit it again a little bit. The Federal Way to Seattle Drive, about an hour and 15 minutes, a little over 40 now from South Center. Once you hit the middle of Boeing Field, it's going to be pretty tough the rest of the way on up. Across the lake, not too bad. 520 is actually wide open. Westbound 90 has some brake lights off of Mercer Island, but you're under 25 minutes to get across. Coming down from the north end, looking really good now for I-5. Just an off and on slowing as you work your way through Mount Lake Terrace. It kind of extends down towards Northgate, but more yellow than red. For 405, there's a lot more red as you work your way through Canyon Park. There's a little crash over on the right-hand shoulder before you get to 527. Got about an hour and 5-minute trip from Everett to Bellevue, about an hour from Everett into Seattle, and we continue to work with this crash westbound I-90 westbound 18, that is, 18 over Tiger Mountain. This one involves a semi. KIRO Newsradio real-time traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan.
It's now 8:15. Cracker Barrel is responding to a wave of backlash, and we learn more from KIRO News Radio's Katrina Gashard.
This is all over its new logo and rebranding effort.
So when you just want more, Cracker Barrel has all the more. All the more.
All the more indeed. The updated design drops the iconic Uncle Herschel character and the phrase old country store, sparking criticism from fans who call it generic and soulless.
Now we have this minimalist logo down here that just looks so tacky.
So in a statement yesterday, the company acknowledged the misstep, saying, "We could have done a better job sharing who we are." Despite the changes, Cracker Barrel insists its values remain unchanged and promises that Uncle Herschel will still appear on menus and signage.
Went to the Cracker Barrel once in my life. It was the Coeur d'Alene restaurant, and I wasn't really familiar with the protocols at the Cracker Barrel. So you get the biscuits and gravy, and I'm like, okay. And it caused kind of a hubbub among my friends, my family, because I realize about halfway through we're all sharing. And so I asked the natural question, is this community gravy? And everybody is like, that's the weirdest thing we've ever heard. And I just wanted to share that they have community gravy at the Cracker Barrel.
One thing I do like there is they have little games at each of the tables, and specifically these games where you put little golf tees. I don't know what that game is called, but you kind of set them up in a specific way, and kind of it's almost like checkers that you play with.
I've only been to the one in Missoula, Montana. The only one I've set foot in.
I've driven by that one and booing loudly
I know,
for the entire town.
The only reason I brought it up.
Boo, Grizzlies, boo. And the Cracker Barrel, too, boo.
Have you been to many Cracker Barrels, Katrina?
I've gone one time. I was a child. Can't remember. a
Okay,
thing.
well, they have community gravy there.
Now we know.
It's 8:16.
Seattle's tradition for news and conversation. This is Seattle's Morning News with Charlie Harger and Manda Factor.
It's Tuesday, and on Tuesdays, we call up New York Times investigative reporter David Farenthold to talk about the big national stories of the week.
David, good morning. Let's start with the latest threat from President Trump. This one aimed at Chicago, saying he's going to send the National Guard to that city to crack down on crime there. Is this going to happen?
Well, he's talked about it off and on. Even yesterday, he was, would say he wouldn't and then say he was. I think he, as always, he loves the suspense. He can do this, although he has less power than he would in D.C. In D.C., he could take over the local police department as well. There, he could just send in some National Guard troops to patrol around. Remember, the National Guard are not trained for police work. They're trained for crowd control at best. So putting them in a city like Chicago, where the real problem is poverty and unsolved murders and a bunch of other stuff that's more complicated than just standing in the street, I don't know how much difference they're going to make.
Now, the Illinois governor, J.B. Pritzker, says he doesn't want this to happen. What if Pritzker were to say no and President Trump said, we're sending troops in anyway?
Well, you never repeated what you had in California a few weeks ago, where the president has the power to federalize a state National Guard and send them to places he wants. So he could do that to the Illinois National Guard. I guess he could also, send in other states' National Guards. But, I think Pritzker doesn't have the power to stop it, probably. But it will be, as I said, a different situation than California, where there were protests to guard, and in D.C., where Trump has more power.
What about the situation in D.C.? It was a 30-day process, right, to bring in the Guard and let them stay, and now Congress has to approve an extension. Is that going to happen?
I don't know. Congress might do that. But the 30-day clock is on Trump being able to control the D.C. police. So that will run out, and he may get an extension from Congress. The National Guard he can keep there for longer, and the sort of swarms of federal agents that he has here from all kinds of different agencies that are just walking around in huge packs looking for people who are like drinking out of an open container, that can continue too for as long as he wants. The question is just how long they do that, just given this taking people away from their actual jobs.
You mentioned that the District of Columbia is just that, a federal district, so National Guard troops from anywhere can be sent there. But you also touched on National Guard troops from other states potentially being sent to Illinois or any of these other places. That seems like a different thing entirely.
It would be, and I don't think that Trump or the other governors would want to do that in a situation where it's not the District of Columbia, sending it to another state really sets a bad precedent. What would you want to send your Guard troops, if you're Indiana or whatever, to send your Guard troops to a state where they're not from and they're obviously not welcome? It just seems like a bad situation. That said, if it's legal, Trump might try to do it.
Let's talk about something else. The president is threatening networks ABC and NBC over what he calls bad stories. He's always targeted the media. The threats are to pull the broadcast licenses for these networks. Does he actually have the power to do that?
Well, the FCC, which is run by a guy who wears a Trump lapel pin, a pretty big Trump flunky, could theoretically do that if it decided that there was, some cause to revoke their broadcast licenses. But that is a cudgel he can hold over their head. Hasn't been done forever. Nixon was the last one who really talked about doing it. So yes, he could do that, and that was the implicit threat behind this lawsuit that ABC News settled at the beginning of Trump's term. So I don't think you could do that for saying that they ran an unfair story, but Trump might try.
Could you maybe talk about how different this is than previous Democratic or Republican administrations?
What we're seeing here in all these different ways is the powers of the presidency used to punish the personal enemies of the president. And, cities where the governors have been critical of him. In this case, news networks that bother him. That's what happens in third world countries. That's what happens in autocracies, places like Hungary or Russia. It's not what happens in America. So Trump is using these folks that he's found to put in these positions, people that are more pliant and more subservient than in his first administration, and trying to use them to shut down basically criticism of stories he doesn't like. That's not supposed to happen in the United States. We have the First Amendment that protects the freedom of the press. So we'll see how far that it goes, but it's certainly a step beyond anything any previous president has tried to do, at least in the modern era.
We're talking with New York Times investigative reporter David Farenthold. David, we've seen another firing by social media. President Trump announced he's firing Fed Governor Lisa Cook. What is he claiming she has done, and can he do that?
Well, he is claiming that she lied on mortgage applications a few years ago, that she said in 2 applications for 2 different houses that each one was going to be her primary residence. It's not a proven allegation. We haven't seen the documents. Certainly she hasn't been charged with a crime or convicted of a crime. She has said it's not true. So what the law allows him to do is fire Federal Reserve governors for cause, usually meaning that they've done something bad in office or they've been convicted of a crime. It's not a well-defined term for cause, but he is claiming that this meets the definition. And what will probably happen is this will go to the Supreme Court, and they'll decide what his powers are in this situation.
Does Fed Chair Jerome Powell have anything to worry about here with this firing?
Well, Jerome Powell is leaving his office anyway. His term is expiring next year. So this is not really about his job. Trump has talked idly about firing him before, but hasn't done it. I don't think he will. This is about building, a set of pro-Trump people on the Fed board to vote on rate decreases. Lisa Cook, the one he's trying to fire, her term it goes till 2038. So if he were actually to succeed in getting rid of her, then he could probably just fire the rest of them and stack it with people who are his loyalists who would want to lower rates. Now, this is one of those things that, it would be bad for our democracy if he did that, and also bad for Trump. If he lowers the rates, we're going to have inflation, and things are going to be much worse for him.
Well, we never have a lack of things to chat about. So thanks, David. We appreciate your time as always. New York Times investigative reporter David Farenthold.
Thank you.
At 8:23, we check in with Chris Sullivan as he looks at the traffic desk.
And we are starting to definitely see some travel times come down across the board. Like if you're coming down from the north end, you're going to be in pretty good spot. You're not going to hit the brakes from Arlington through Marysville to Everett. It's really just away from Linwood. And even on I-5, it's not as bad as it could be. But boy, once you get down to about 85th across the Ship Canal Bridge, it does struggle. We're under an hour, though, from Everett into Seattle, which is great. And we're just about an hour, maybe a little bit under as well, from Everett into Bellevue with the brake lights there. Pretty consistent from Canyon Park down through 522, but after that, not too bad. We've also picked up about 5 minutes on the trip from Federal Way to Seattle. That's about an hour and 10. A lot of the braking up past the Kent Des Moines Road and into SeaTac has dissipated. Still have the stuff at the north end that you have to deal with past the West Seattle Bridge, but a 40-minute trip from South Center is not too bad. 45 minutes from Renton to Bellevue as we're really struggling through those S-curves, and then again over the top of I-90. So you're going to have some brake lights there through the weaving and merging. Speaking of I-90, definitely some brakes westbound as you make your way off of Mercer Island. About 25 minutes now from Bellevue to Seattle on I-90, 15 to 18 on 520. The Olympia to Tacoma Drive, nice and easy. Puyallup to Renton, running right around 50, still seeing not too bad of a drive. And we're still working with this stalled semi blocking a lane on westbound I-90 over the top of Tiger Mountain. Not a huge backup, but there is a little looky-loo slowdown in the eastbound direction. KIRO Newsradio Real-Time Traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan.
Our forecast, we have almost reached the end of our heat wave. One more day, 88 in the sunshine today in Seattle, warmer away from the water. And then for tomorrow, cooling off to about 81, more clouds in the morning, sunshine in the afternoon. Thursday, 82, will warm up just a couple degrees on Friday again, but then for Labor Day weekend, partly to mostly sunny with highs in the mid-70s, normal this time of year. Right now in Seattle, sunshine and 65.
Coming up, KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey on that shooting in Seattle's Belltown neighborhood yesterday, and Sully has a Labor Day choke point.
Yep, we'll try to help you get through the roads coming up this weekend again.
Choke point.
I think the heat may have
choking on that word.
This is Seattle's Morning News.
This hour is brought to you by WaFed Bank.
The G and Ursula Show.
You wouldn't enter into a business partnership without a contract.
Weekdays 9 to noon.
Why in the world would you enter into a marriage without a chore prenup?
I just predict trouble in that marriage. I may be all wrong on this. Our marriage is good, and we did not have to get into a prenup for chores.
He should probably have agreed to do a chore prenup.
Watch live on YouTube and the KIRO Newsradio app.
You hear that? That's the sound of your business losing money. Legacy phone systems weren't built for today's teams. OpenPhone gives your business a smarter way to stay connected. OpenPhone lets you manage calls, texts, voicemail, and contacts all in one place so that you and your team can deliver a seamless customer experience from ring to... Need to take calls on the go? OpenPhone automatically transcribes, summarizes, and highlights next steps from every call, so you never miss a detail. Need insight into what closes a sale? With OpenPhone's AI call tags, you can instantly spot key topics like objections or pricing questions, and use those insights to coach your team and level up every customer interaction. And yes, you can bring your existing number with you for free. Keep your team in sync and your customers happy with OpenPhone. OpenPhone. No missed calls, no missed customers. Try OpenPhone for free at openphone.com/free and get 20% off your first 6 months. That's openphone.com/free. openphone.com/FREE.
Jason Rance here with our local tax expert and advocate Greg Nunn from None Better Tax Resolution. So you and I have talked before about the folks who think they can do this themselves. And again, I imagine there are a lot of people who are saying, well, new administration, fewer staff members, now I truly can get it done.
Really, in this situation, I do feel really bad for the taxpayer because here you're getting a notice. You call the IRS, you're going to be on hold for 45 minutes to an hour. And so getting through is going to be more difficult. And when you do get through, you're going to be talking to people that are not as well trained as they have been in the past.
Which makes it even easier for them to take advantage, even if it's not intended, against the person who owes taxes.
I've heard it said that they just will make up something because they want to respond to the taxpayer. And people are going to get some really bad information and they're not going to know.
If you're having trouble with the IRS, call Greg Nunn, None Better Tax Resolution, 425-947-1967, or Google NUNN, None Better Tax Resolution.
If you want that summer body you've always dreamed of, then this message is for you, ladies, and you men too. Get rid of extra stubborn fat and address areas of loose skin around the waistline, chin, and under the upper arms with ProSculpt, the new one-day instant permanent fat removal and skin tightening treatment. Maybe you've tried the lasers, fat freezing methods, even those new pills, but without the desired results. ProSculpt is different. It's minimally invasive, performed while fully awake, gentle, yet powerful. Designed to target the waistline, chin, neck, arms, and thighs, ProSculpt uses FDA-cleared plasma technology to deliver immediate, permanent fat-reducing and skin-tightening results, all in just one visit. If you want that summer body this summer, then you must act now. Go to ProSculpt.com today to schedule your free consultation. Get $250 off. For instant, permanent fat reduction and skin tightening, visit ProSculpt.com.
Most roofers around here give you one option. Two if you're lucky. Asphalt shingles and maybe metal. That's like going to a restaurant and the only thing on the menu is salad. Sure, there are a few kinds, but they're all pretty much the same, and none of them will keep you satisfied for long. I'm Jim Singletary, Chief Roof Nerd at RoofSmart, and we serve up real choices. Yeah, we do asphalt shingles, sure, but what about something more substantial, like EuroShield rubber tiles that last a lifetime? Or a beautiful, durable metal roof that can handle Seattle's weather like a champ. We even install cedar shake, stone, copper, and walkable rooftop decks. Most roofers stick to what's easy. At RoofSmart, we offer what's best for you. Now, those are what we call options. For anything is possible roofing, call RoofSmart at 206-487-4877 or visit GetRoofSmart.com today. That's 206-487-4877 or online at GetRoofSmart.com.
Hey, it's Jason Rance. Our local tax expert Greg Nunn wants taxpayers to know the IRS is now going after older cases very aggressively. If you received Form CP-504 from the IRS, do not ignore it. Be proactive and resolve your situation with Greg Nunn, N-U-N-N, None Better Tax Resolution.
Ron is a musician.
Guitar is my love, and the thought of losing that ability was devastating.
You see, Ron was suffering from osteoarthritis.
I was starting to have pain, especially in my right thumb. I had gone to an orthopedic specialist, and they were coming up with options like fusing the joints together.
That's when Ron decided to see Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine for stem cell therapy.
The results are astounding. I couldn't have imagined it working as effectively as it has.
You'd recommend this to other people?
Oh, wholeheartedly. I am quite the fan of the stem cell therapy.
So, whether it's a shoulder, hip, knee, or even your thumb, before you choose surgery, consider stem cell therapy with Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine. Schedule your consultation at drmarkwagnermd.com.
I'm singing from rooftops. Go see Dr. Wagner.
Hi, I'm Justin Shirley. We offer 0 down, 0 interest, and 0 payments for 24 months on new roofs. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF now. State Roofing and Exteriors, held to a higher standard since 1968.
Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and MyNorthwest.com.
Live from East Lake Avenue.
You're listening to Charlie Harger and Manda Factor, Seattle's morning news.
Good morning. It is 8:31. Seattle police are on the hunt for a gunman after a man was shot in the leg in Belltown last night.
The shooting has detectives looking for answers. Neighbors are frustrated, and KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey is here with the latest. Luke?
Now, that 47-year-old victim was shot at 3rd Avenue in Blanchard during the evening rush hour around 6 o'clock. Neighbors have had it with crime in that area. Listen to what this shop owner told KIRO 7 TV.
It's always been a little gritty, and I love that. But this is something that's been totally... We are not being allowed to live and enjoy this historical neighborhood.
Police say right before they got to that scene, there was a fight between several people. The suspect pulled out a gun and fired. Then another person involved in the altercation took the gun away from the shooter and ran away. The suspect then also ran away. The victim was taken to Harborview Medical Center in stable condition. Charlie and Manda, police say they have a video of that shooting. They're looking at it right now. If they have any leads, of course, let's hope they share them. Let's see if it leads to an arrest.
Okay, thank you, Luke. It's 8:32. Search teams are back in the area near Rock Island Campground in Leavenworth. That's where Travis Decker is accused of killing his 3 daughters.
Chelan County Sheriff Mike Morrison says they want to ensure they didn't miss anything.
Making sure that we're checking our boxes and doing everything we can to best map it out in the future in case there comes a time where I'm not in office or our investigators aren't in office. It's well documented. There's a well-established history. Anyone can pick up where we left off.
Morrison says similar cases ended with a suspect found within a quarter-mile radius of the crime. The manhunt for Decker is closing in on 3 months now, and investigators still can't say for certain if he's dead or alive. The FBI is now leading the latest search effort.
The Trump administration is warning states like Washington of consequences if they fail to enforce English language requirements for truckers. Allison Keyes from CBS News has this report.
Truckers are supposed to be disqualified if they can't show that they can speak English and read road signs, and Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy says.
We just want to keep drivers safe.
Duffy says an investigation over that Florida crash involving a driver the government says is in the U.S. illegally that killed 3 found significant failures in the way 3 states are enforcing the rules.
We will take money away and we'll take additional steps.
Allison Keyes, CBS News, Washington.
It's 8:33, and that's time for traffic. We do that every 10 minutes on the 3s. Chris Sullivan is watching things.
And while we're picking up the pace in some places, we're kind of adding to our drive in others. I'm going to start with 405. The Renton S-curves are very slow today, and we kind of extend up past 44th, plus more over the top of I-90, working your way through merging into South Bellevue. So we've pushed up to 50 minutes now from Renton to Bellevue, behind schedule by about 4 or 5 minutes over a typical Tuesday. Behind that, though, the Valley Freeway is getting a lot better from Puyallup up through Auburn and Kent. It's really at the north end part of that drive. We're just under a half an hour again out of Auburn and just under 50 minutes from Puyallup, so we're trending in the right direction. Now, the 4I-5 drive, as you work your way through South Center up into downtown, that's added 5 minutes. We're up to about 45 minutes now, but because we're thinning out a little bit further to the south, the total travel time hasn't changed much, hour and 10 all the way from Federal Way. Pierce and Thurston counties, though, have cleared out really nicely. Across the lake, westbound 520 is starting to see some slowing through Montlake over to I-5. 405 sees the normal stuff off of Mercer Island. Need about 20 minutes to get across the lake. And coming down out of the north end, it's really not too bad. I mean, we got heavy brake lights through Green Lake and down through the U District on I-5. But we're under an hour from Everett to Seattle and just under an hour from Everett into Bellevue. This report brought to you by Home Comfort Alliance. Save 50 to 75% by combining tax credits, rebates, and incentives on a new heat pump from Home Comfort Alliance. You can visit them, homecomfortalliance.com.
Okay, Sully, you stand by, gather your thoughts. Your choke point is on the way, and I didn't call it checkpoint, everybody.
I just chuckled.
Oh, that's a little progress for me.
Well done. Third time's the charm.
There we go. Taking a look at the forecast today. One more hot day. It's going to be a rough sleep tonight if you don't have AC. 88 our forecast high in Seattle. Tomorrow, we cool down to 81. We stay in the mid-80s Thursday and Friday, upper 70s by Labor Day weekend. Right now in Seattle, we have some filtered sunshine and 66.
Charlie Harger and Manda Factor, Seattle's morning news.
Hey, oh, let's go.
Now, Choke Points with Chris Sullivan.
Presented by Carter Subaru.
Okay, we know you have your plans for Labor Day weekend, and they are better than anyone else's, right? Well, there's no way you're going to get stuck in traffic or in one of those long ferry lines.
Well, if you haven't started planning, Sully is here to help.
And I'm going to go over just about every mode you can think of. I'm going to start with the airport because a lot of people are flying this Labor Day because AAA says domestic round-trip flights are actually about 6% cheaper this year than they were last year. So that is still a viable option. The problem is it's going to be another record-breaking weekend, most likely, at Seattle International Airport. More than 1 million people are expected to travel through SEA from Thursday to Tuesday.
SeaTac.
Yes, exactly.
SeaTac Airport.
And that's a 7% increase over last year. So expect to be bursting at the seams there at the airport. If you're picking somebody up or dropping somebody off, always remember to think opposite. That's use the departures deck to pick up and the arrivals deck to drop off. That is going to be a much easier way to do it. And, of course, you can use Spot Saver if you've got some time. It does take reservations 5 days in advance of your flight. Now, if you're driving, you're going to find it way cheaper this year to fill up your
Nope.
Check that. The national average for gas is $3.18 a gallon. That's down about 20 cents from last year, but no such joy here in Washington. Our average price is $4.40
What?
a gallon. A full 22 cents more expensive than last year. So that's more than 40 cents difference that people are experiencing from year over year. Of course, we all know the reason why. And Charlie, you had a fabulous commentary about it that you can read at mynorthwest.com. Best advice for Labor Day, leave early, leave late. I know it seems simple, but the last thing you want to do is being on the road in the middle of the day. That's when everybody is out there. Get on the road before 10 a.m., leave after 7 p.m. That's usually your best bet. Great news for drivers. Most, if not all, construction will be taking a break for the weekend. That's going to come in handy for I-90 drivers because you will have all lanes across the Vantage Bridge from Friday through Tuesday. Now, for ferry riders, you know the drill. Expect long westbound lines starting Thursday afternoon. Got an update from the ferry service during the show, and they're expecting 400,000 people on the ferries over this Labor Day weekend. So that's a lot more than they had last year by about 100,000. As for getting home, whether you're on a plane, a train, an automobile, a ferry, come back a day early or maybe a day after everybody else to try to avoid that. That means coming back Sunday or Tuesday. Monday afternoon is not when you want to be on the road in anywhere, especially after about 11 a.m. And you certainly don't want to be waiting for an eastbound ferry at that time on Monday. It's going to be brutal. On the way to Labor Day, you've got a couple days where people are heading out. Everybody comes home on Monday. So try to avoid that as best you can.
Well, one of the all-time great tips, we talked about this a little earlier, one of the great tips I ever got from you is the Spot Saver at SeaTac Airport.
Yeah, it's a good one. As I said, it takes up to 5 days in advance. You can put in your flight information, and you can pick the time and what gate you want to go into, and you go right to the front of the line. And wow. I've beat people with Clear and with all that other stuff all the time. It's a great opportunity. I don't know why people don't use it more. Maybe that's a good thing. So Charlie, you and I can skirt through the line faster. But yeah, Spot Saver, you can find it on the SEA app. That's Seattle International Airport app if you want. But it's a great system.
All right. Thank you, Sully. And we'll have traffic coming up. What is the biggest hotspot right now?
Right. It's just a lot of volume going up the 405 corridor through the VMAC area, getting into Bellevue. So we'll break it down for you next.
KIRO Newsradio is right there with you.
A big story developing this morning.
On your smart speaker before you head out the door.
We get the latest live from KIRO Newsradio's Luke Ducey.
Huge impacts for Boeing and Boeing workers.
The office, the gym, anywhere.
Water, like taxes, goes all the way down to the bottom bottom, so it'll either come out of the employee's paycheck or the lack of raise.
KIRO News Radio. We're on YouTube, our app, your smart speaker, and 97.3 FM.
By texting 64,000, you agree to receive recurring automated marketing messages from Real Success. Message and data rates may apply. No purchase required. Terms apply. Available at ourrealsuccess.com.
Do you want to learn how to make money flipping houses and acquiring rental properties right here in Seattle without using your own money? You'll learn to flip houses and secure rental properties in your spare time to get on track towards real wealth building. We're offering a handful of motivated individuals the opportunity to attend our workshop right here in Seattle for free. That's right, we'll give you 2 free tickets when you text FREE to 64,000. Seattle is the perfect market to flip houses and build rental income. Don't miss this opportunity. Come to a complimentary live 2-hour workshop next week right here in Seattle and learn how to start making money flipping homes and building long-term wealth with rental properties. To get 2 free tickets, text FREE to 64,000. Text in the next 10 minutes, and registrants will also receive a free copy of our Funding for Deals guide. Text FREE to 64,000 for 2 complimentary tickets. Text FREE to 64,000.
You still have 40 million plus vehicles globally that are driving around with a potential ticking time bomb, a grenade in either their steering wheel or their dashboard. When we look to what injuries may have transpired from a defective airbag, we generally see loss of vision in an eye, or we see facial lacerations. We also see hearing loss. Unfortunately, we started seeing death after death after death. When that passenger airbag exploded, it basically degloved his entire face. He lost his nose, he lost his right eye. The type of catastrophic injuries that one is more accustomed to seeing in a Hollywood movie, and not something from a device in an automobile that's supposed to protect you. Morgan & Morgan has a national reach in terms of handling and prosecuting cases, notwithstanding the team of lawyers that we have collected that focus only on product liability day in and day out.
Morgan & Morgan. Visit us at badairbags.com for an office near you. Prior results do not guarantee a similar outcome.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody. Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have Leaf Filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today. See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. 1 discount per household.
8:43, Chris Sullivan is at the traffic desk.
And we are struggling up the 405 corridor from basically 167 all the way up to 44th, past the VMAC there, the Seahawks practice facility. Then you get a little bit of a gap, and then you hit it really hard again through the merging at I-90. So we're at 50 minutes from Renton to Bellevue. The good news is behind that, the Valley Freeway is thinning out. We're back under 50 minutes, not quite to about 47. A little bit in Auburn, primarily, though, from 180th on in through the merge into downtown. And then on to 405 there. Northbound I-5 from Olympia to Tacoma, you're not going to hit the brakes at all, and you're just going to tap them here and there the rest of the way on up to about the beginning of Boeing Field. But from there on up, it's going to be a struggle, kind of the normal stuff you expect for a Tuesday. Got about a 45-minute trip from South Center to downtown, hour and 10 all the way. Lake Bridges, both of them picking up some westbound slowing now, 520. It's pretty heavy there through Montlake, and for westbound 90, it's the normal stuff across the lake. We've got about 20 minutes for the Lake Bridges to go from Bellevue to Seattle. I-5, 405 coming out of the north end. They have 2 different spots where they're heavy, each one individually, that is. For I-5, it's about 85th down across the Ship Canal Bridge. For 405, it's Canyon Park down through Bothell. Travel times are about the same, though, about 50 minutes from Everett to Seattle or Bellevue, so we're getting there. This report brought to you by Superior Linen Service. You never get a second chance to make a first impression. Superior Linen Service will help your company look good with logoed apparel, uniforms, floor mats, and more. Visit suplinen.com.
Just one more day of the heat we tend to get through. 88 for today in Seattle, and then tomorrow you'll wake up to more clouds. Sunshine by afternoon, but a high of only 81, 82 Thursday. Back into the mid-80s Friday, but then we're going to cool off and see what's normal this time of year. We'll be in the mid and upper 70s right on through Labor Day weekend. Right now in Seattle, sunny and 65.
8:45 now. Caitlin Clark is Nike's latest signature athlete. Katrina is here to explain what's happening.
Caitlin is the WNBA's third player to reach that level. Her signature shoe will drop sometime next year, but we already know what the logo will look like. She posted a video on social media with an image of interlocking seas.
We're live on WNIK, and as usual, we're talking about Caitlin Clark.
And the gear also includes clothes. Clark says it is more than just a logo. It is a dream come true. She signed a record-setting $28 million endorsement deal with Nike.
Not bad.
They are investing a lot in Caitlin Clark because she's bringing money to the WNBA.
No kidding.
$28 million is also a dream come true for me.
Yes, for many.
Yes. All right. Thank you, Katrina. 8:45 now. And coming up, Ursula Reutin, we're going to talk with her about back to school and some of the technology issues happening at our local schools. That's on the way here on Seattle's Morning News.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have Leaf Filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/radio to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/radio for your free gutter inspection today. See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. 1 discount per household.
What does it take to get justice for a man paralyzed after a cycling accident? Thousands of documents reviewed, hundreds of thousands of dollars paid for experts and investigations, and over 6 years of hard-fought litigation fighting all the way to the Washington State Supreme Court. Because when King County said he deserved nothing, we proved he deserved better. $10 million better.
Everything that could be done was being done to help us.
Chris did a great job. Call Davis Law Group today at 206-888-8888.
This is the city's longest-running radio news show, Seattle's Morning News on KIRO Newsradio.
Coming up on 8:49, and look who's here, Amanda.
It's Ursula.
Hey, good morning.
Hi, good morning. What's G doing?
Well, G is doing some volunteer work today, so he's out today. He'll be back tomorrow. But y'all we were talking about school getting going.
I can't believe it's time.
I know.
Next week, Tuesday.
Well, here's the other thing. I mean, summer is really over because this is going to be our last 8 p.m. sunset. And after today,
to that I say, thank heavens.
See, you and I are like on opposite ends of this whole thing. I am lamenting the end of summer and the feeling of kids going back to school.
Yeah.
I was sharing that with our listeners yesterday. It always there's a tinge of melancholy for me. It's like, ooh, summer's coming to an end. The kids are going back, especially as the kids got older. And especially senior year, which, Charlie, you're going to deal with that right now, right?
Billy is going to be a senior at Auburn Riverside this year. So, definitely a lot of complicated feelings. And I'm really excited for her. Senior year for me, I don't know about you. That was my best year in high school.
So fun.
In high school, I mean, senior year was a lot of fun. I didn't have the fun until I really got into college, though. So, but in terms of what is happening this year, I did notice that there are some changes technology-wise. I don't know how you guys feel about your kids having their cell phones at school, but I always thought that it was too much of a distraction. So I saw that there's from the state school superintendent's office, they're saying that 53% of school districts in Washington now will have policies that basically will restrict access to cell phones during the school day.
And to that, I also say, thank heavens.
Yeah, hallelujah. Yeah, 31% of school districts in the state are opting to have the devices put away for the entire school day. And then the 53% are saying at least during teaching time.
So, Sam, my middle schooler, at his middle school, they have established a policy in the past year where basically every class, they check in and they put the cell phone in a pouch. And after and between classes, they can have the phone. It's a little bit more lenient at the high school, but there is definitely a, put the phone away policy.
Yeah, no, I think that's a good thing, because I know for teachers, that's just a nightmare.
Yeah.
Right?
It's a nightmare for parents.
Well,
can't imagine trying to teach, too.
Although I hear that we don't do a great job of modeling for our kids either, right? So, okay, so yeah. So I know. And you have a son, too, that's going into...
Sam is in 8th grade, and so that is... I don't know about you, but 8th grade was not my favorite year. I mean, here you are, you're the oldest kid at school, but you're about to turn right around, and all of a sudden you're the young kid the following year. I'm sure your daughter, Manda, is kind of feeling that as well.
She's going to high school, 9th grade this year.
I know.
A new
go
school.
Blanchette.
Go Blanchette. New friends and everything. She's very excited, which is good, because her friends are about half and half.
Sure.
Between excited and frightened.
Yeah. Now, do you guys have any rituals, back to school rituals? Like, did you do the whole, I'm in 8th grade, I'm in 7th grade, I'm going into that? Did you ever do
like the photos on the driveway, the first day of school? For sure. Absolutely. Yeah. We do that. We did a story probably like 10 years ago where police were saying, don't do that. Don't do that. You'll give away too much personal information. Your child will have their ID stolen. So we don't hold up the placard anymore, but we do take their picture.
We take a picture in the same spot.
I never even thought of that for a second. Are you serious? David, you're looking like you're puzzled too.
I'm just astonished. The kids are putting all their personal information on Instagram and Facebook anyways.
It's out there. Yeah, exactly.
I guess better safe than sorry.
Yeah. So I'm going to just speak to the parents who do feel that bit of melancholy, because I want you to know that you are not alone. I see you, especially when the kids get closer to going to college and maybe you're facing the whole idea of being an empty nester.
Check back with me in 4 years and I'll be freaking.
Exactly.
For now, it's exciting.
Okay, but you've come out on the other side. You feeling good about being an empty nester?
Well, here's the thing. They never fully go away. And I love the relationship I have with my sons as adults.
Yeah.
And if you have done all the right things and have, there's a point in time where they call it messing up the nest, and that happens right before or during their senior year, where they try to really make your life hell because they're also getting prepared to leave the nest, right?
All right.
But they eventually come around. They come back, and it's all good.
They like you
again. It's all good. I mean, we want them to launch, right? I mean, it's the whole, we get ready for them to launch, but there is, and I know, Sully, I know that you remember those days too. Like, especially if you're really involved in your kid's life.
Yeah.
Yeah. When
this
they
is
leave,
Tommy's first year without school and his first year not playing football.
And I bet there's a mix of emotions, right?
There. Yeah, big time.
Yes.
Ursula, always great of you to drop by. You know what?
Thank you.
We'll just tell G not to stop by sometimes. We'll bring you in instead, okay? G and Ursula.
He loves hanging out with you guys.
Coming up 9 to noon. Thanks, Ursula. It is 8:54, and Chris Sullivan is watching the roads.
And if you see a giant group of chimps and monkeys and other sorts of things running towards Tiger Mountain, here's the reason. The semi that rolled over westbound at 18 at Tiger Mountain Summit, 40,000 pounds of bananas. It's a banana truck. So if anybody's looking to make a banana split, run up to Tiger Mountain right now. 40,000 pounds of bananas.
It's going to be slippery.
Yeah, it is. So just be prepared. That's what's happening on Tiger Mountain. The rest of the map, we're starting to see things calm down. We're picking up about 5 minutes every little bit now. So we're under 50 from Everett to Seattle or Bellevue, just about an hour Federal Way to Seattle. 45 from Renton to Bellevue. The Valley Freeway's under 50 again, and the lake bridges are hanging in there. I'll see you in a minute. I'm going to go grab a banana. KIRO News Radio Real-Time Traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan.
Toasty bananas. It's going to be 88 for today. One more day of our heat wave, and then we'll cool off to about 81 for tomorrow with a mix of clouds and sun. So far, Labor Day weekend looks nice. It's 65 right now.
The G and Ursula show coming up. Why one Seattle police officer made over $500,000 last year. This is KIRO News Radio.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to the end of summer sale at AutoZone. We're celebrating the end of long days and short nights with big deals for a short time, like car wash. Right now, you can save 20% on the Armor All Complete Car Wash Kit. Need new brakes? Duralast brake pads are free with the purchase of Duralast rotors. We've also got oil deals and more. We're ending the summer right with the end of summer sale at AutoZone.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle.
If you've been considering surgery or even joint replacement, let me suggest something. Hi, it's Dave Ross. I've now talked to over 200 patients of Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, so many of whom have told me about the life-changing results, and those are their words, after treatment at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine. These are people with severe osteoarthritis, even bone-on-bone, and they tell me that they're back hiking, jogging, playing tennis, skiing, golfing, walking up and down stairs, playing with the kids, the grandkids, and doing it without pain and without surgery. Dr. Mark Wagner's 60-minute outpatient procedure uses your own stem cells, and because they're your own stem cells, they can help regenerate your own cartilage in your own joints. Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, is a board-certified Seattle physician with over 30 years of experience, and he's performed over 20,000 stem cell procedures. Also, he's one of the few doing it the right way. So listen to his patients, and remember, whether it's a shoulder, hip, elbow, ankle, wrist, or knee, before you choose surgery, first see Dr. Mark Wagner, MD. Get the facts, then get back in the game at drmarkwagnermd.com.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their